Welcome everyone to a full body flow. No need to warm up before beginning this. Just grab your mat and let's jump right into it. We're starting lying on our backs today. Reach your hands up over your head or wherever they feel comfortable, and we'll begin drawing some big circles with our knees. So pulling them into our chest, opening wide to either side and closing at the bottom of the movement. Just beginning to warm up through our hips here. We'll hit every part of our body in this practice today, get feeling nice and warm. So we'll reverse those circles, and this time flexing through the toes if you had them pointed, or bring it opposite wherever your feet were before. As always, make sure you're listening to your body throughout this flow. Don't do anything that doesn't feel good to you. There's not necessarily one right way to do yoga, although I'll argue that the right way to do yoga is what feels good to your body. We continue to find some movement here. That's the goal of this practice. Pull your knees into your chest and flex and point your toes. Wake up your ankles. And give yourself a big hug in. Draw forehead in towards your knees and tuck in. Engage your core muscles. And release down towards your mat. Let all your air out, and on the next inhale, pull up, tuck in. And release. Tuck in. And release. One more time. Tuck in, hold it up. Keep squeezing. And continue to hold it up as you rock out left to right. Slowly bring the backs of your shoulders all the way down to the mat. And keep your knees together as you draw a big circle one direction. And switch directions. Let's hug your knees into your chest and rock out gently left to right. You should feel your sacrum or your low back pressing deeply into the mat. It should feel nice. And extend your legs up towards the ceiling, flex, and point your toes. Reach your hands up high above your head for a big stretch, and arms come out to either side. Drop the knees over to your left, through center, and to your right. Center, left, center. So we're working a little bit of core, a little bit of obliques here. Right, center, left, center, right, center. And give yourself a big hug in. Begin to rock forward and back. So get some momentum going here. And every time you come up, hold a little longer. So first time we got 1 second. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it up. Drop it back, and we'll hold a little bit longer this time. Stay here, engage the core. And go ahead and release. So find a comfortable seated position here. Take your hands, fingers facing in on your knees, and begin to rock left to right. If you've been following my practices, doing my flows, you know I love motions like this. So keep it dynamic, keep moving, rock left to right, and begin to take it into circles. Really open up your chest, press your chest forward, a big stretch through your shoulders as well. And on the back part of the motion, really round through your back, release any tension between the shoulder blades. And go ahead and switch directions. Hold at the back of the motion, really press here, and inhale, open the chest forward, press back and forward, back and forward, one more, back, forward, and hold back. Release your hands, press your palms towards the front of the room, interlacing your fingers, and open up towards the ceiling, rounding and opening. Round, press your air out. Remember to breathe. Open up and press. Open a little to your left and begin to draw a big circle here above your head. When we start to feel like we're dancing, that's the best part. Really opening up through the chest and the shoulders, and reverse directions. Keep those circles going. Hold the forward motion, open up towards the ceiling, and release your hands behind your hips. Open up your chest, really press your fingertips into the floor. Find length. And walk your hands back to your knees, sit up tall. Drop your chin to your chest and over towards your left shoulder. And walk your right hand to meet your left knee. Switch sides so chin comes through center and on over to your right. Walk your left hand to your right knee. Or baby twist here. Good, return to center. Take a couple big rolls in the shoulder. Open your chest a little more. And begin to pick up your legs, shins parallel to the floor. Hold here and begin to rock forward and back. We'll just take a couple here. We're going to make our way up to standing, so we'll take it slow. Crossing at the ankles, roll all the way forward onto your feet and step back to down dog. So I'll show that one more time if you missed it, or go ahead and pause the video and figure it out on your own and then revisit here. So I round back, cross the ankles, step forward, and step back. And that time I moved a little faster. You can see how it would look when you get the movement down. Once you find your down dog, wake up your hamstrings here. So walk out left and right. Take your feet wide of the mat. Keep walking out left and right. Take your feet back into center, left and right. Keep waking up your hamstrings. Stretch all the way through the backs of the legs. Take a little pulses. Bend into your right knee. Keep with the pulses. Bend into the left. Just little bounces here. Hold back at center. Both knees are in line. Walk it out left and right. Just finding lots of movement here. Take the feet wide again. Keep stepping out. Bring them back to center. And find stillness finally. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, press the heels down. Lift and press. Lift and press. Lift up, hold up. And take some baby steps. Walk your feet up to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Forward fold. So once you find your forward fold, keep your feet stepping out. Take your feet wide, keep them stepping out. And step them right back into center. We'll hold here, sway out left to right, take any little wiggles that feel good to you. I just keep moving here, so take any movements that you love. Eventually we'll meet with our feet in the middle, find those little bounces. And take hands at opposite elbows as you continue to bounce. Sway out gently left to right. And if the bounces aren't serving you, you don't have to take them. They're kind of fun though, so have a good time with it. We'll find some stillness here. Bend into your right knee, straighten more so through your left. And bend into your left, straighten through your right. No need to have that leg completely straight, by the way. And switch, bend the right. Bend the left. Find a couple bounces and then find stillness as you sink your hips low. Keep the weight in your heels. Find your way into a chair pose. So when we're in chair here, you want to avoid a big arch in your back like I'm showing there. So try and tuck your tailbone under a little. Should have a nice flat line. Inhale, stand up, find a little back bend, and exhale, sink low. Inhale, stand up, find a back bend, and exhale, bend at the elbows, sink into your chair. Reach up and lower. Up and lower. Take a few more of these. Deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, press the air out. Draw some more power. We're heating up our bodies now. Hold in your chair. Hands come to heart center. And exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands to the outside of your left foot. And the outside of your right. Come back through center and roll yourself all the way up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Take your time to come up. At the top, take a big roll, and the shoulders, head stacks on top of the spine. Take a big shoulder roll. And find some stillness here. Draw hands into heart center and bring your attention deeply to your breath here. Begin to press through your toes. Lift your heels up off the mat. Find balance. And lower the heels. We'll take that 2 more times. So if you're wobbling all over the place, you got 2 more shots. Lift the heels. And lower. 1 more time. All the air go, and on the next inhale, lift the heels, hold here. And lower down. Great job. Inhale, reach the hands high, and exhale, sink back to your chair. Reach high and chair. 1 more, reach high. This time hold your chair, hands in heart center, and fold. Bring your hands to your mat, step your feet back, find down dog. And begin to bend into your right knee. Straighten more so through your left. And take your right foot behind your left ankle for a really big calf stretch here. More intensity through the left foot. And switch sides, bend into your left. Then take that left foot behind your right. Find your way right back to down dog and drop your knees wide on the mat. Find that wide knee, child's pose, and begin to take some circles here. So draw your hips over to the right, through center, to the left, and to the back. Again, one of my favorite movements is to work the whole body out. So we're loosening up the spine, the hips, getting good work in here. Switch directions if you haven't already. And hold back in that active child's pose. So hips aren't all the way down. You're pressing through your hands and actively sending your hips up towards the sky. So we got some funky stretches today to get it nice into the hips. So lower onto our belly and draw the left knee at a 90-degree angle out to your left. So think frog stretch, and we're taking a half frog here. Upper body is in sphinx pose, so on the elbows, chest pressing forward. If you want a deeper stretch, you can take a twist with the left arm below the right. Otherwise, stay in sphinx. Open that left hip and really draw both hips straight down towards the mat. Go ahead and lay onto your right arm, extend the top leg out to the side and take a twist. As you return to center, option to keep that leg straight as you lay down onto your belly again or bend into the knee. Now we're taking a fun one here. So level 1, this posture is called Vishnu's couch. So we're laying on our side and pull one knee up towards your chest, really opening through the hips. Also an option to take around the toe or the foot and lift the leg up towards the ceiling. So working towards the full posture of Vishnu's couch, we want to lift the bottom arm and the bottom leg off the ground. So if you're wobbling a little bit, totally normal to roll all over the place. I do, and it hasn't gotten perfected quite yet, but it's a fun one. So challenge yourselves with that one. Go ahead and return to center. Take your knees wide, sink back into your child's pose. And we'll go ahead and take those stretches on the other side. So lay onto your belly, take your right knee out to the side in that half frog. Again, option to take the twist with the right arm below the left if you want more. On the other end, you can pop the right hip a little up if you want less. Go ahead and extend your left arm, extend your right leg straight towards the left and take a twist. Your gaze goes over towards your right. As you return to your belly, option to keep that leg straight on the right or bend it again for the half frog. With the leg straight, I suppose we could call this a half middle split. What do you guys think? And go ahead and lay onto your left side for that Vishnu's couch. Either bend into the knee or reach up towards the toe and extend the leg. Now we'll work on lifting the bottom foot and the bottom hand. Try not to roll onto your back here. We want to stay on our side. And drop the leg, return to your belly, press back up to your child's pose. So once we're in child's, rock out a little left and right and arch and round through your spine. So as you're rocking, keep pressing through your hands and move almost through a cat-cow. And totally make this movement yours. Do what feels good to you. Take it a couple more times. We'll meet back in down dog. Big hip openers now. Reach the left knee up. Take a couple circles. Whoever feels good there, eventually draw the left foot up in between the hands. Sink low into a low lunge. And we'll begin to straighten and bend through the front knee. So inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Straighten and bend. And continue to move through these. Move with your own breath so you don't have to follow me on the pace here. And we'll switch it up. Keep the front knee bent and lower the back knee to the mat and lift it up. So we tap down and lift up. Tap and lift. And find your way all the way up to a high lunge. And take some pulses here if that feels all right. You can grab opposite elbows above your head. Stretch out the left elbow. And switch, stretch out the right. Reach your hands up and lower down to the mat. Toe heel your left foot a little more out to your left. Find any little wiggles here, movements that feel good to you. And take your full variation here. Maybe that means lowering onto your forearms or staying tall, really focusing on finding length through the spine. Another option here is to drop your right hip more so down to the floor. And you should feel a big stretch through the outside of your left hip here. Try to make your way back to center if you took that variation. Tuck the back toe, straighten out through the front leg, hopping the back foot up so your feet are about 3 feet apart. We'll make our way into pyramid pose. So come all the way to standing first. Hands on the hips, square off towards the front of the room, and take it over as far as you can to still find length in your spine. So if you can come over to bring your hands to your shins, awesome, or use a block, or stay standing. This stretch is awesome. It totally isolates that front hamstring, so you can get very deep into the hamstring here. I also urge you to play around with shifting hips a little forward and a little back, and find where your hips are most level or wherever you have the deepest stretch, and hold there. And step back, find down dog. And take those big hip circles in the right knee. Eventually draw the right foot up in between the hands. And we'll begin to bend and straighten through the front knee. Inhale, bend. Exhale, sink low. So straightening and bending. Straightening and bending. Move here at your own pace. Hold low And drop and pick up that back knee. Move at your own pace. And go ahead and hold still. Find your high lunge and begin to take those bounces. Hands take opposite elbows. Stretch out your left shoulder, your left elbow, and switch sides. Find center, reach both hands up high towards the ceiling, and release to either side of your foot. Toe heel the right foot a little more out towards the right so your hands come to the center, and find any little wiggles or bounces that feel good here. And go ahead and hold still. Find your edge. Whatever that means to you. Listen to your body here. Breathe deeply. We'll slowly make our way back up. Tuck the back toe and work your way towards the pyramid stance on this side. Feet come a little closer together. Right foot forward, left foot back. Find standing and begin to tilt forward, leading with the hips. Take your hands to your shins or to your floor. And breathe deeply into the stretch. Take those shifts in your hips, forwards and backwards, finding where you feel the deepest stretch and hold there. And go ahead and press through your hands, step back, find down dog. Take any little wiggles here before we make our way to a wide-legged forward fold. Take your feet wide and allow yourself to drape over forward. Feet face the front of the room and walk your hands up your legs to take your hips. Hold here halfway, our back parallel to the floor. As you exhale, allow yourself to fold forward. Bump your left hip out and reach over to your right side. And switch. One more time on each side, switch here. And don't worry if you aren't coming as deep as I am into this stretch. Totally cool if you're up on your hands or hands are on your shin, whatever works for you. And switch sides. Gotta return to center. Walk your feet in a little so your toes point out. Take your elbows to your knees and we'll begin to bend into one shoulder and then the other. Move at your own pace. I'm dipping left and right and left and right. Hold center. Take your hands to your knees. Sink as low as you can in your hips as you shift out left to right, eventually sending your hips high, and walk your feet a little wider for your wide-legged forward fold. Funky stretch here. So turn to face your right and sink deep into one side. Totally cool if you're up high. If you're more flexible in your hips, then you can lower down. Big hamstring stretch and hip stretch at the same time. So your right leg's extended, your left knee is pointing towards me if you're mirroring me here. So we'll go ahead and send the hips high, switch out. So left leg stays straight. You bend into your right knee as you lower. Find center. Hold here. Gently toe heel your feet in towards one another. Sink low. Find Malasana. If your heels don't come all the way down, totally fine to be up on the balls of your feet. Just more work for you. You can also take your hands behind you and sit here. Eventually, we'll all take our hands behind us and lower onto our seat. Feet stay wide on the mat. Hands come to the knees and begin to take some big circles. Switch directions, just a couple each way. And we'll get a little balance in here before we close off our practice today. So sit up tall, take your hands around your toes or your ankles. Option to stay here or extend one foot or both feet. Try to find as much length through your spine as possible here. Avoid rounding, and it's something we do. It makes it a little bit easier to balance, but it's not too good on our spine. So we'll try that one more time. If you did one leg on the other side, do the other leg on this on this time. Or do both and hold here. Find stillness, breathe. Eventually bring the soles of the feet down together on the mat. Lean forward into butterfly. Exhale, round back, take it into some circles, release out the hips. Switch directions. And take your hands behind you on your mat, extend your legs long, open your chest up towards the ceiling. Lower back to your forearms, open your chest. And we'll eventually make it all the way onto our back. Soles of the feet to touch, allow the knees to go wide, hands come to your belly. Keep your left knee where it is and gently pull the right knee towards your left. Return to center and bring the left towards the right. Back to center. Feel free to stay here as long as you like. That's all I have for this practice today. Thank you all so much for following along and providing me with your love and support. Namaste.